Okay guys, a little explanation on why I went to 20-inch rows for soybeans and corn. First off, I needed to buy a corn head anyway for my combine. The old 95, I had a 435N corn head for it. And anybody that knows these old heads know they're extremely heavy and they're power hogs. And it needed completely rebuilt, and it just wasn't worth doing, fixing it. I always said if I could ever find the corn head to go to 20-inch rows, I was going to do it. Well, I had this planter, this AC 8-row. It was 830, so I had a planter already to use that's easy enough to move, and it was on Craigslist and fall of 2011, and there was an AC G820 corn head for sale, about 50 miles away. So I went up and looked at it and ended up buying it for, I believe it was $900, and brought it home. It had been previously modified from the guy I bought it from. He used it on an R42 gleaner, so they had already modified it somewhat to work on it. So I bought it, and come spring, early on, I pulled this planter up in front of the barn and started taking it apart, basically, moving everything in. And the great thing about these AC planters is it's just basically unbolt and bolt back up. So, it's not really that hard to make these into a narrow row planter. I had to do some replumbing, which was really no big deal. It was, the piping it was on here was leaking anyway, so it was going to have to be changed out, so wasn't no big deal. I had bought another AC planter. It was a 620, believe it or not. That's why those 6 units are on this. I put these 6 on because they were like new. They'd never been really used that much. And the outside 2 rows, I took the best 2 units off that 8-row and put back on here for this. Originally this was a mechanical marker system. I changed this over when it was an 8-row to hydraulic markers. And the little bracket you see back there in the middle was the trip mechanism for the hydraulic switch to switch the markers back and forth. But when I changed this to 8-row narrow, I didn't need those big markers, so I kind of rehabilitated them into the ones you see. So that worked out great. But the big reason I wanted to go to 20-inch rows, mainly for corn, and then when I got into the beans, planted the first year with them, I saw a huge, and I do mean huge, difference in the yields. Mainly, and the first year I seen a real good increase in yields, but the second year, a friend of mine, I went looking for some seed plates, and the plastic John Deeres that everybody uses, Illustrian B2 plates, I had 4 of them, and I had the AC plates, the steel plates that come with the AC planters. Now they're 20 cell plates, where the John Deere are 24s. So I wanted to get 4 more. Well, the first year I did this, the box, excuse me, the boxes that had the AC plates in it, it was 4 and 4. So the first time I filled up, went to the field, first time I had to put beans in it, it took 1 more bag to fill the 4 rows with the AC style plates. So I knew I had to get some new ones. Another set for the other. Now, I couldn't find those, but a friend of mine had these. These are B3 32 cell plates. And what that does, only allows 2 beans per cell, whereas the B2s allow 4 beans per cell. And the ACs, being they were 20 cell plates, had 6 beans per cell. So using this set of plates now spaces these beans out like you plant it with an air planter. Cannot believe the huge difference it makes. We were putting on, I believe with these plates, these B3s, it's right at a 200,000 population. So that gets you to 170 to 175 population. Normal seed beans is 90% germination, plus another 5% you lose when you're raising lower that don't grow and miss and, you know, skips and all that good stuff. But on the corn side, I planted at 35,000 population, and that puts you 8.75 to 9 inches spacing. Now, corn and soybeans are both the same. They go about 10 inches out with the root systems in any direction. 10 inches out both ways. If you broadcast fertilizer, work it in and plant, your beans or corn, either way, will have 100% usage of the moisture and fertilizer and nutrients in the ground. That was my big push to go to 20-inch rows, is that fact. Now, with 30-inch rows on corn or beans, you have a 10-inch strip right down the middle of the rows that you're getting nothing out of. Absolutely nothing, unless the ground is plenty loose and the roots can move easy, which in this ground is not going to happen. 2012 on the corn yields, the first year I tried this was a real bad year for corn around here. The field next to us over there, when they combined it, they said it was making 180 bushels the acre. I walked in the field and several times and looked at it, and be lucky if it made 50, you know. But the average around here was from 6 to 60. I made 115, so I was real happy that year. Beans yielded across the road right at 100 bushel an acre, and over here was 70. So I can't complain. I plan on planting corn this year, so be on the lookout for it. So we'll catch you next time, and as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe.